26th Story Treehouse Chapter 5 Terry's Story. Back in the kitchen, our automatic marshmallow machine senses how hungry we are and begins firing marshmallows into our mouths. "So," says Terry, throw a mouthful of marshmallow, "what story were you telling the readers when I interrupted you?" "I was telling them the story of how we met," I said. "Oh, I love the story," says Terry. "We were both lost in the forest, and then we met and found that house made of gingerbread. And we started eating it, and a nice little old lady came out and invited us in. Hello, boys. And then she put you in a cage to fatten you up so she could eat you, which, come to think of it, really wasn't a very nice thing for a nice little old lady to do. So I pushed her into the oven, which, come to think of it, wasn't a very nice thing for me to do. But..." "Terry," I said, "that's not the story of how we met. That's Hansel and Gretel. It's a fairy tale. Remember how I told you that Terry can be a bit annoying at times? Well, this is one of those times." Terry frowns and looks confused. "Oh yeah, my mistake," he says. "I remember now. I was taking some food to my sick grandmother and I met you in the woods. You had big eyes, big teeth, and you were covered in fur in those days. Later you dressed up in my grandmother's clothes. I never really understood why you did that." "I didn't do that," I said, "and that's not how we met either. That's Little Red Riding Hood." Terry strokes his head. "It is? Of course. Sorry, Andy. How could I be so dumb? Hang on, I've got it. There was a castle. We met at the ball and danced. But when the clock strikes 12, you went running off and lost your glass slipper. I looked everywhere for you. I searched the kingdom far and wide, but..." "Terry," I yelled, "you're not even close. That's Cinderella." Terry shrugs. Then I give up. I've got no idea how we met. "Well," I said, "if you promise to be quiet for the next 21 pages, I will tell you." "Okay," says Terry, "I promise." Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a very big city. And in that very big city, there was a very tall tower. And at the top of that very tall tower, there was an apartment. And in that apartment, there lived a little boy who was very lonely. The little boy was very lonely because he didn't have any friends. And the reason he don't have any friends was because his parents thought friends were too dangerous. In fact, they thought everything was too dangerous. They never even let the little boy out of the apartment. "It's for your own good, darling." He lived in a padded room. He slept in a padded, not full outable bed, and sit in padded, not full out table chair, which for extra safety was fitted with airbags and a seat belt. He wasn't allowed to watch TV. "It's not good for your eyes, darling." He wasn't allowed to play on the computer. "Too much electromagnetic radiation, darling." And he wasn't allowed to play with toys or any other sorts of games. "Too much risk of excitement, darling." All he had to amuse himself with were books. All with round corners that his parents had selected for him. These books contain no harmful ideas, no characters doing dangerous things, nor any stories involving dangerous or potentially dangerous situations, which meant that they didn't contain much of anything at all already. The day we did nothing. The lonely little boy couldn't eat any proper food. His parents mashed and poured all his food to make sure he didn't choke and served it cold to make sure he didn't burn himself. That is, until one day when his parents decided that even cold mashed up food posed too much of a risk, so they put the little boy on an IV drip instead. And as if all that wasn't enough, his parents also fired the apartment with every type of safety alarm possible. With every type, they had fire alarms, food alarms, burglar alarms, spider alarms, tiger alarms, vampire alarms, false alarm alarms, and false alarm alarms. They also had the little boy fitted with a pair of emergency safe inflating underpants, just in case he ever fell into water. They can be operated manually by pulling the cord at the front. Now, you might think emergency safe inflating underpants are a really crazy idea, considering the little boy never even left the apartment. But you would be wrong because, as it turned out, they saved the little boy's life. One night, while everybody was sleeping, a power board overload with too many safety devices overheated and caught on fire. The little boy was woken by the fire alarm. He got out of bed and ran to the door, but his way was blocked by smoke and flames. He ran to the window, but of course it was locked. So the little boy picked up his safety chair, threw it at the window, and smashed a big hole in it. And then he climbed through the broken window and stood a ledge on the outside of the building. This was by far the most dangerous situation the little boy had ever been. Well, actually, it was the only dangerous situation he'd ever been in. He looked down at the ground below, a long way below. He looked back into his room, which was now completely on fire. He knew jumping from the top of a very tall apartment tower was an extremely dangerous thing to do. But he knew what staying in a burning apartment was extremely dangerous too. Possibly even more extremely dangerous than jumping from the top floor of a very tall apartment tower. So he jumped. Help! Stop! Shh! Andy! Down the little boy fell, but he didn't hit the ground. Yikes! He hit a tree and then bounced off the tree into another tree and then bounced off the tree and hit another tree, boing! And hit a few more trees, boing, clock, snap, before falling with a big splash into a nearby river. Splash! The little boy couldn't swim, but as soon as he hit the water, his emergency safe inflating underpants activated, and away the little boy floated down the river and eventually out to sea. Was he all right? Says Terry. Well, as a matter of fact, he was, I said, because I rescued you in the paddle boat. Me? Says Terry. Yes, because you were the boy in the story. I was? Oh, yes, now I remember, it was me. Of course it was me all along. But what were you doing in the paddle boat? Well, that's actually a whole another story, I said. It's a long story? Kind of. Can we get an ice cream first? What a good idea, I said. Let's go to visit Edward Scooperhands. This way to the ice cream parlor. Chapter 6. Andy's Story. Come on, hurry up. At the ice cream parlor, I get a double scoop chocolate ice cream, but as usual, Terry can't decide what flavor he wants. Hurry up, I said. The readers are waiting. I'm sorry, he said, but there are 78 flavors here. I don't want to make the wrong decision. Maybe you could ask the reader to help you choose. I said. Great idea, says Terry. I'll do that. What flavor do you think I should have? Yes. Interesting. Perfect. Okay, get it. Thanks for your help. I'll have one with the lot, thanks, Edward, said Terry. One with the lot coming right up, says Edward. Scooperhands and his Scooperhands go into super high-speed scooping mode. He scoops chocolate, he scoops double chocolate, and scoops triple chocolate. He scoops vanilla and scoops berry vanilla and scoops strawberry and scoops cherry and scoops strawberry and cherry and scoops cherry and strawberry and scoops raspberry ripple and scoops blueberry burst and scoops vanilla burst and scoops marshmallow woomy and scoops goldfish surprise and scoops flying monkey and scoops Easter egg and scoops deep fried donut and scoops pizza and scoops hamburger and scoops hot dog and scoops spaghetti and scoops cookies and ice cream and cream and scoops cheese and biscuits and scoop rum and raisin and scoops fish and chips and scoops tomato sauce and scoops egg and bacon and scoops egg and no bacon and scoops bacon and no egg and scoops no bacon and no egg and scoops Pokemon and scoops summer holiday and scoops new bicycle and scoops Christmas morning and scoops coconut and scoops falling coconut and scoops bubblegum and scoops lemonade and scoops confetti and scoops butterscotch and scoops hot buttered popcorn and scoops melted cheese and scoops bigament on toast and scoops breakfast in bed and scoops marshmallow and scoops snakes and ladders and scoops no cactus no sparks and scoops cactus with sparks and scoops fresh rain and scoops electrical storm and scoops brain freeze and scoops caramel hump and scoops fairy bread and scoops bath form and Scoop's blue heaven, and Scoop's black forest, and Scoop's dark side of the moon, and Scoop's total eclipse, and Scoop's birthday cakes, and Scoop lollybug, and Scoop's roly-poly, and Scoop's toffee apple, and Scoop's daffodil, and Scoop's rainbow, and Scoop's starbit, and Scoop's honeycomb, and Scoop's cockmeat, and Scoop's local rice, and Scoop invisible, and Scoop's tutti frutti, and Scoop's salt and vinegar, and Scoop's jelly snake, and Scoop's jelly bean, and Scoop's fudge, and Scoop's rocky road, and Scoop's yellow brick road, and Scoop's winding road, and Scoop's dirt road. Finally, Teddy's ice cream is ready. That's a lot of scoops, I said. I know, he says, but the readers all suggested different flavors, and I didn't want to disappoint anyone, so I decided to have them all. Make sure you don't eat it too fast, I said. You don't want to get brain freeze. I won't, says Terry. I will eat really slow while you tell the story. All right, I said. Here goes. Once upon a time there was a little boy who had the most horrible, terrible, meanest parents in the whole wide world. They were very strict and had all sorts of boring rules and regulations that they forced the poor little boy to follow. House rules. Number 1, no. Second, no. Third, no. Fourth, no. Fifth, no. Sixth, no. Sob. For example, they made him wear shoes, clean his teeth, good boy, mirror, brush his hair, wear a hat when it was sunny, and a coat when it was cold. They made him help out around the house, do his homework, eat with a knife and fork,